Good morning. Happy Chanukah, everyone. This is Lasker Rink, the morning after. Just a few hours ago, we had somewhere between 1,000 and 1,300 people right here on the ice, and Chanukah on ice, and that's our truck. And I wanted to see what it looks like right over here in the morning. And I thought I'd share with you a thought straight from the rink over here in my morning running commentary. And yeah, this is what we said here last night. I'm just going to say it again, a little more detail, because last night it was a little bit lively. But here it goes, Lasker Rink, Chanukah on ice, the morning after Chanukah on ice. And there's some noise in the background, so I'm holding the mic here. But the point over here is that the Rebbe says a fascinating lesson from Chanukah. And he says that when the Rambam, the Maimonides, describes the situation of Chanukah, he says that there was the Syrian Greeks forbade the Jewish people from following the Torah, from doing its laws, from learning the Torah and keeping its laws. And then he says, and then it goes on like from lower to harsher. And then he says, and then they pressured them, a great pressure. And the Rebbe says, what is this pressure that's even worse than prohibiting and preventing people from following the mitzvot? And the Rebbe says that the pressure that they pressured them was that they should assimilate and lose their identity as Jewish people and become like the Greeks and become like the rest of the people. And this is, says the Rebbe, sometimes is even worse than preventing somebody from doing an actual mitzvah, because it's a whole attitude, a paradigm shift. And it's not just missing one mitzvah, but it's actually, the approach is a completely different approach. And he explains that what happened over there is that though they pressured them a great pressure, God created this incredible miracle because of the Jewish people's response. And that was demonstrated in the oil. See, when they came to the Holy Temple, to the Beis HaMikdash, there was a lot of oil, unbeknownst to many people, contrary to the popular opinion. There was a lot of oil that they found. It was just that all that oil was touched by the Greeks, and it was not sealed with a high priest's seal. It wasn't pure oil. That was the problem. And they only found one jug of pure oil, and they waited and waited till they found that jug. The Rebbe says they could have used, Halacha says they could have used regular oil. The Talmud talks about this at length. They could have used regular oil, but they didn't want to, because Chanukah and the spirit at the time it's a spirit of Mesirat Nefesh, of sacrifice and dedication and motivation, which is a lot stronger than regular. And they didn't want to use oil that was touched by the outsiders. And this symbolizes, well, music is going on in Central Park at Lasker Rink. I'm going to try to make this fast, or I'll just walk out. So this is demonstrated by Chinuch. Chanukah, the whole concept of Chanukah is Chinuch, is education. And oh darn, hold on 1 second. I'm just getting out of here. Sorry. I'm walking out of the gate. A little bit. Well, maybe not. Okay. Sorry about that. I'll be back. So Chanukah, the point of Chanukah is chinuch, is education. Education is key in our upbringing our children and raising our children. And the Rebbe says when it comes to education, when it comes to Chanukah, the message over here is that the oil, the illumination, the joy, the happiness, the spirit that we bring into our homes needs to be pure, needs to be ultra, ultra pure, untouched by anything else, unassimilated, no outside influences, like the pure oil that was used with the seal of the Kohen Gadol, with the high seal of the high priest. And that's the message of Hanukkah. The Rebbe says, a child, sometimes a child might say, okay, what's the difference? I'm still getting light from this oil that was touched, that was that comes from an outside influence into our home. It still brings me joy. It brings me happiness. It's fun. It's exciting. But here's the message of Hanukkah, says the Rebbe, that we need to keep our oil pure. What we're bringing to our homes needs to be only the pure oil. And then the Rebbe says that you have, the obvious question about what about we're so few against the many. The Jewish people are so few against the rest of the world, in contrast to the rest of the world, and we're so weak in contrast to the strength that they have, and we're like one sheep among 70 wolves. In our history of the struggles that the Jewish people have gone through. Says the Rebbe, but when we dedicate ourselves with complete mesiras nefesh and sacrifice to make sure that the oil that comes into our homes is pure, that illuminates our home and each one of us, and the shepherd, the great shepherd, will neither sleep nor slumber. Hinu lo yanum v'lo yishan shomei Yisrael. And when we illuminate our homes, each of our homes illuminates around the world with that pure oil. It'll illuminate the whole world and bring down the light of the Beis HaMikdash, which is also the rededication that happened on Chanukah. So that's the story. I usually do this as a running commentary, but today I just was really excited to show you guys the Lasker rink, where we were last night, where we had 1,000, the numbers range. Lasker rink says we had 1,000 people here. I think we had 12 or 1,300. But either way, it's good. Everyone celebrated and enjoyed. And this is what the rink looks like when nobody's on it. So that's my story. What's yours? Let me go back inside and take one more look at that rink. And we'll let you go. Happy Hanukkah. Try to get somebody to light the menorah. Somebody who doesn't have a menorah, you can pick one up at Chabad, free of charge. And you can pick up 5 if you need to. Be an ambassador of light. Share the light. This is where we were last night. 1,000 to 1,300 Jewish people celebrating Hanukkah. It was beautiful. Wish you were there. And for those who were there, thank you for coming. Take care.